Welcome back, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Museday. Let's say hello. I think Bill was here super early. Welcome, Bill. Roseanne is back. Doug is here. And who else? Daryl, welcome. Christina, nice to see you. Geneva, awesome. And Richard, what's up, man? Richard is showing up. I love it. Did I say Doug? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I think that's everybody so far. We'll probably see more of the usual offenders. Let me get my cajon off of... Hold on. I got it going under the cajon, my headphone cable. All right. That's better. All right. Today, we're having fun with unusual sounds. Are they super unusual? Nah, not really. But they are a little. Like this one. You got to appreciate the abrupt ending. All right. Let me get my mics leveled up here. All right, you guys, what's happening? All right, Cornelius is here. Nice. Welcome, everybody. Okay, well, it's still hot as you know what here in the studio. So I've got a plan today, and it's a treat for you guys. It's a win-win coming up in a minute. But first, let's do it, shall we? Guess the sound! All right, are you guys ready? I'll give you a hint. You already heard it. Here we go. All right, but now I think you guys all know what that is. By sight, I want you to try to get the name for me, because last week I didn't know it. I mean, maybe I knew it at one point, but I didn't know it because, well, I'll tell you the story in a second. But somebody contacted me through the interwebs. It's not a frog, Cornelius. Sorry. It's not the beads on a string. I'm sorry. Keep trying. You might have to Google it. It's just like a little assignment for you guys. Here it is again. I'll give you a hint. You just saw it. You just saw me play it. But look, I didn't really know. If somebody had asked me to name it, I couldn't have done it a few days ago. But I'm just bringing it out because I figured like, why not? You know, we usually feature something. There's a educational component. All right, Cornelius got it. It is a thing. That's true. He got it. Okay, how many points? I'd say like 0.2. I'm kidding. No, actually, Roseanne, it's not a cocorico or cocorico. It is something else. Well, this is turning out to be a little more of a challenge than I thought. But actually, Doug R., you're on the right track. It is the wooden disc thing, but can you guys get me the name? Can you get the name? That's the question for today. So, it is this thing. Let me get the graphic out of the way. Let's see. I always forget which buttons to push. Okay, that one worked. Yay. All right, so this is it. It's this thing, and you can see it's basically like a V, or I guess you could say L. It's more of a V shaped piece of wood. That's the handle, and then it's got these calabash discs on there, right? A little ring on the bottom to help them stay on, and that's it. So the question is, what is it called? And there's a little bit of, I found a little discrepancy. Ah, Richard got it. Yeah, and that's a fun word to say. Rakatak. I actually just wanted to use it because I love saying that word. It's a rakatak. Rakatak. It just, like, it's such a percussive word, right? So, oh, I got some damage here. Well, yeah, see, this one's got a little, it's okay, it's hanging on. So, yes, these are actually leftover bagel bites from my kitchen. No, they're not. You could probably make one out of some leftover bagels, though. You guys know how quickly they go bad. And they end up hard as a rock. But that's not what these are. These are actually gourd or calabash discs. And, yeah, it's nice. Hope it's not too loud. I'm trying to keep it softer in the so it's not blowing the mics out. All right, so it's called a rack attack. However, yes, and it is now as far as I can tell, it is from Ghana. At least that's now. If you go to Wikipedia, here's the thing. You go to Wikipedia, which we all know is pretty good, but maybe not 100% on everything because it's just, you know, us folks putting things over there. You'll see that there is, now I don't have the actual one here, but you'll see, if you go to Wikipedia, you'll see something like this. It's actually more, it's kind of like this. If you combine these, if these two had a baby, it's because you can have this thing, this little baby rattle, all right? You can have this little baby rattle with the little wooden beaters on springs like this one. And by the way, Yanni fans, this is the same one that's on the Yanni recordings. Live at the Acropolis, this little rattle's been to Greece. And on tour all around the U.S. several times. It sounds good. So is he a little soldier or something? I'm just noticing that now. I think he's like, I think he's supposed to be like a little, I think he's got a little hat and a shirt, yellow shirt. Okay, so my point is, okay, yes, loss of train of thought. Let's get back on. It can be like with the two little springs, or it can be like this, where the body is here, right, and the little balls are on this piece of wood, and they go like that. And so I thought this was really interesting to me today that both of these things, if you look them up, both of these things are called rack attack. Now, obviously, I would say this one is probably the thing, right, the rack attack, and then these are like, you know, little versions that people made to emulate the sound, although they don't really emulate the sound. I mean, do they? Kind of, maybe. I don't think so, because this, to me, this is a rattle, right? It's like I would call it a clapper rattle or clap style rattle. And I used it in the groove, right? Right on the clap, like as a clap track. So that's that, right? And these come in a pair. I've got the other one somewhere around. I don't know where it is at the moment, but they come in a pair, and you can play them like that. And now these things. So this is the baby rattle type. Not the same, but I mean, if you want to call it a rack attack, I guess you can. And then I want to show you these because these are really cool. I forgot where I got this one, but you heard them in the recording, but let me break it down. So this would be, I don't know, kind of inverted, but a really nice sound. And then also these, which I got in Mexico City. Somebody was selling these, and these are awesome. So these are like those C-pod rattles, seed pods, or C-pods, I think they call them. It's also confusing. But these, listen to this. Right, and that's lower pitched. Let me pop up over here. And now I have different sizes, and so this is a higher pitched one. And they work pretty well together. Sorry if it's loud. Let me see if I can turn it down a little. So I've got 3 of these, different pitches. So together, I feel like that's a nice array of you know, rattly stuff for today. Let's see. I'm just reading comments to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, it does. Yeah, Doug said it sounds like a castanet. They do sound like castanets. Good call. But maybe easier to play. I don't know. I find it kind of difficult to play castanets. Although I have a castanet machine, I also have castanets on a handle. So that's very similar. Yeah. And maybe, and we know, you know, the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain and Portugal, was of course heavily influenced by the Moors who came up from the Arab countries and North Africa. And so all that's, you know, maybe that's all related. Probably is. Castanets and whatever these things are. All right, so that's the sound today. I'm gonna split the points between Doug and Richard because Doug kind of got the instrument and Richard got the name, right? And unless I'm mistaken, but I think that's it. So you guys get to split the points today. Roseanne, how many points should Richard and Doug be bestowed with? Up to you. All right, and then in that jam, while you're thinking about that, in that jam we had this cool little, this is like a little dove whistle. I also got this in France. That's fancy. And I think I got this, I know I got this near Aix-en-Provence. And I love this one. This is really nice. No, Christina, there will not be 10 million each. 43.5 each. Okay. So like today's episode split in two. I see what you did. I'm on to you. Good number. Okay, so each of you guys get 43.5 points. Don't spend them all at once, all right? They're worthless. But it's good. We're here to have fun and learn stuff. So, I learned this last week. Now, let me tell you, before I get too off on the instruments, I do want to go over what I'm playing here, though, and for you guys, and just, in case you're wondering. Somebody contacted me, and he had contacted me before to try to name an instrument, because a lot of these things we just don't know. We don't know what they are. He's a composer, and he was just like, there's this sound in this recording. I'm trying to figure out what it is, and then he sent me like a photo, and I said, I don't know. I think that's a baby rattle. And then he's emailed me back, I think it was the article on Wikipedia, and he said, oh, that's a rack attack. Now, he was talking about this kind of thing, this little. So I would say, yeah, maybe, but this I think would be the real deal, official. But I just love the name so much, and I thought, I have it, I have them here in the studio, why not? So anyway, that's how that got inspired. And let's keep going over the instruments. Maybe what I'll do is I'll focus this camera on the table. So we have our baby Zenko, the little Zenko Elements drum in D minor, which is a steel tank drum by Metal Sounds and available through weplaywelltogether.com. Let's see, I use the Kashishi basket shaker. I used a little bit of maraca, kind of towards the top. And we had the dove whistle. I had an A minor Native American style flute. This is a Northern Spirits flute. It's made of ABS food grade plastic. And that's A minor. We had the bongos over here, of course. I had an ukulele. This is a Enya Manglewood ukulele. And I was just playing D minor and G7. It's kind of like my Oye Como Va chords, right? All right, and then for some reason that works really, the A flute really likes those chords. We had that, and we had the D minor flute, this bass flute, which I've been playing several weeks, and that's Pat Heron out of Arizona. D bass, and then I had the cajon, and this is the Kopf percussion cajon. Really good stuff, you guys. If you're in the market for a cajon, I highly recommend them. They're small, shop down in Georgia. Kopf, K-O-P-F. I think, which means head. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, I think that's it, right? That was in the opening track. So today, I've got, it's coming up. Today's theme is unusual sounds, and so what I did for you guys is I have a video. I don't think I'll play the entire thing, but I'm going to play a video for you, and this is part of and I'm also, yes, this is an infomercial, just to be transparent. Well, not entirely, you can still see me, but I'm being transparent in as much as we just added a masterclass by our friend Jeff Tripoli, who also has a new, thank you, Roseanne, for the link to kopfpercussion.com. Jeff Tripoli is a friend of the channel. He asked me to play on one of his tunes for his album, which I did. And in exchange, he was very nice to supply our patrons with a whole masterclass series of lessons on found sounds and creative techniques. And so this is one of those videos. He's got like modified drum sets, contraption kits, which is like a alternative drum set. So there's modified drum set, and then there's alternative drums. There's different kinds of combinations of instruments. So this video is one of those videos. There's like 9 videos, or 8 or 9 in the series. And this is on what he calls the spring drum. All right, so I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and secret, I'm gonna blast the AC in my studio while you guys are watching that because it's so hot, I'm already sweating. So well, I think enjoy this video. I'm doing it exclusively just for your benefit. Okay, here we go. Let me see if this works. I believe this is it. All right, here we go. Jeff Tripoli.
Hey guys, right before me here is my string drum. You might think I said snare drum, but actually this is a string drum. So what it is a snare drum. Usually the snare is in this position. We have the snare strainer here, but instead of snares on the bottom, I've installed something different. I have a can and some guitar strings here. This was inspired by trying to make something out of homemade instruments and something that's recyclable, trying to save the earth at the same time with stopping some pollution by using recycled material. And having household objects around the house is really inspiring as well, because you never know what you're going to find in the kitchen or in the shed, in the garage, or in your own bedroom. So the reason I like this instrument, on my records, I use this a lot as a human voice. As you can see, it's pretty expressive when you're using a metal spoon, and you mute the strings with one finger here, and then depending on where you press on the string, you get a different pitch. Also on the other side, we have shorter strings. Because this can is not in the center, it's offset. We have another set of different pitches. And depending on which way you slide this can, you'll get a higher pitch or a lower pitch here, likewise on this side. It's really, really fun. Another cool thing you can do with a spoon here, on the can, you'll notice that there's ridges. What I like to do sometimes is use this as a guiro. And if you use a stick here, the further in the stick is, you get a different tone than if it's further out. Also makes for some really expressive rhythm ideas.
All right, you guys. I'm back. I think that worked out well. So the studio is a little bit cooler. I'm not going to play that to the end because I also just realized that I copied. You guys don't need to know this, but I copied that frame, that how do I say it? That scene from another scene where I had a copy of my ending scene, which plays a movie and then it ends the live stream. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, is this going to end the live stream if I let it play to the end? And the answer is probably. So I didn't want that happening again, so I cut it short. It goes on another few minutes. But look, if you guys, Jeff is just a really cool guy and very generous, very creative. He shares a lot in this whole series. And yes, I'd love you to join and be a patron at the courses or higher tiers. But do it for yourself. Don't do it because you like me. I mean, I know you do, but that's not the reason to do it. By the way, you guys know I'm joking around. Did somebody tip something back here? Did I see? Yes, Richard, sorry. I wanted to say thank you for that. Thank you very much for the donation. May you be an example to all. But I did want to acknowledge that because I saw it and then I was like, oh, and then I got sidetracked. As usual. All right. So, yeah, Jeff's a great guy, very creative, and a young dude, and he's doing his own thing, you know, and he does do gigs and he plays, you know, drum set and in bands and things, but he's also doing something that I respect a lot, which is he's following his own musical instincts and his own path, and he's composing, and he's reaching out to people, and he's being creative, and he's just being very open and generous and like generating a lot of goodwill and creativity and music. And, you know, that's what it's about, you guys. Like, I'm just going to point to Jeff and say, look at this as an example. Look at him as an example of somebody who's producing, you know, music. And actually, to be honest, Richard, you too. Richard does a lot. He's plays a lot of different instruments and just makes music, you know, and publishes it. So whether you guys are, you know, whether it's your full-time gig or it's a serious hobby or it's just a passion or whatever, just keep making music and publishing and, you know, reaching out to each other and seeing what you can do. Collaborate with somebody or take a lesson or buy their recordings and, you know, just say hello and drop by. Not only because we all need to support the arts and artists, but because you got to be proactive, you know, especially if you're doing something like Jeff's doing, which is not mainstream at all, right? It's definitely not pop music. But it takes a lot of work and effort. And as an artist and as a composer, you know, I always appreciate it when somebody says, hey, I really love this, that you did that, and it was so cool. I mean, it does mean a lot, actually, because we don't hear that all the time. I mean, I suppose Sting does or Bruno Mars does, but I don't. So, I want to hear it more often. All right, we're turning the corner and we're getting to that Give Me Fives part of the show, but we're not quite there yet. We are at a music mindfulness part of the show, so I'm going to accompany myself with some live music via the mini Zenko. And I want to touch on a very simple concept, you guys, on mindfulness and music, and that is presence and being present, which involves not not trying to do anything specific, especially to quiet your mind. And of course, everything I'm saying is my opinion, but it's based on experience and common sense. Whoever said, just try to quiet your mind, that, you guys, is the worst advice I've ever heard. I'm serious, because it's not normal. It's not natural. It's not about quieting your mind, okay? It's about making peace with it. Yeah. It's about being okay with a busy mind and just not attending to every thought, not following every thought, but not trying to stop it. It's like trying to stop the wind from blowing. Good luck. All right? It's important. It's an important distinction because I think so many people have spent so much money at retreat centers to try to quiet their mind, and it's just futile. It's futile, and it's not necessary. I mean, if you can do it, good for you. But I'm saying it's not necessary for mindfulness and for presence. It has nothing to do with it. It's beside the point, all right? So what do? You let your thoughts just do their thing. Rotating thoughts over here. Hey, look at this. What about this? 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 And then you just dig into your sensations in the moment. You just ground into the, like, yeah, I'm here's what I'm feeling, here's what I'm hearing, here's what I'm seeing, here's what I'm tasting, here's what I'm experiencing in the aesthetic that we call life. Yeah, life is an aesthetic experience. Thinking is not. Thinking is a made-up experience, all right? I sound controversial today, but I'm serious. It's so simple. You want to practice mindfulness, just practice tuning into your sensations. Ground yourself into the world, which is a physical experience. It's an aesthetic experience, all right? It's not a thinking experience. Thinking is fine, but it's mainly good for getting yourselves out of a situation and into some other situation that you want to be in. That's what thinking is for. Thinking is not for experiencing life. You don't have to think for that. It doesn't require any thinking. Okay? Right? It's so simple. All right, so that's all I'm going to say on that. Let's not belabor the point. Thanks for listening, though. I hope that's helpful. Yeah, just let your mind do whatever, and just don't pay that much attention to it. Don't take it seriously. It's just trying to help you solve problems, and when you don't have a problem, it tries to make up a problem to solve for you. That's called worrying. So just know that. Don't try to stop it. Ridiculous. All right, you guys, let's do a Give Me 5 thing. So we have everything I played before, plus there's still within reach a nice shaman drum, buffalo drum over here. Aye. There's a couple Shruti boxes down here, which are nice drone instruments. You guys generally know what I have in the studio. So go ahead and put your selection of 5 things. Oh, I didn't mention these earlier. These are just some little chime, little bells, Tibetan bells, I guess they call them. Sort of sweet. We can incorporate those into the Give Me 5. Yeah, and then right here, you guys, if you look at what it says, let me focus this. You see this right here? It says, stop trying to quiet your mind. Yeah, right there. That's what it says. That's validating. It's nice to be validated by some Tibetan bells. It doesn't say that. I don't know what it says. Probably nothing. Probably made in Tibet. All right. At least I'm cracking myself up today. All right. Is that Roke or Roke? It says life is meaningless. Well, you know, objectively, perhaps, yeah. But it is subjective, right? Life is subjective. So, very much so. I mean, I think that's pretty much the definition of life. is you become a subject, a subjective subject. Shannon is here. All right. Well, you're welcome. Thank you. Whew. Okay, Roseanne is asking for give me 5 suggestions, you guys. So let's do it. That involves just suggesting 5 instruments, or you know, or not. I mean, we could even do fewer, but now's the time. Let's get something in the next minute or so, or I'm just going to start with whatever. How about that? The clock is ticking. All right, Cornelius is in. Richard is in. Oh, and Doug too. Okay. Wow, good. And who's that? Pierre? I can't make it out. Okay. I can't see that far. And then I can't see my computer across the room, and I can't see my phone this close to me because it's too close. So sorry. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Well, you're welcome. Oh, Pilar. Pilar? I hope I'm saying that right. I would not want to be an announcer for the Olympics, you guys, either. Can you believe all the names they have to say? That's too much. That is way too much pressure. By the way, can we just like mentally thank all the amazing athletes okay, perfect. I'm just blown away. I've been watching all kinds of stuff that I don't, of course, I don't usually watch. I don't usually watch, canoe cross or even badminton. But man, I watched the men's bronze badminton yesterday, and I got to say the Malay athlete did awesome, won the bronze. But the best part of it, you guys, I was trying to find a photo because I wanted to post it, is they had the Malaysians were all there, and they brought drums and like a horn or something. It was crazy. And then in between every point, they were over there beating on these traditional Malay drums. And it was so cool. And I was like, oh my God, these guys brought it. They had their own band, like at the Olympics. And I mean, who was he playing? I think he was playing somebody from India. And they could have brought stuff, but they didn't, I guess, from India. It was amazing. It was so much fun. They're just over there like, bong, gong, 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 gong. All right. So what are we doing, Roseanne? Oh, your husband has picked Richard Bruner? Okay. Tibetan bells. Oh, Tibetan bells, and then the rack attack, bongo, shruti box, D minor flute. All right. Let me get set up. I was yapping away, not paying attention. Okay, so we don't need the ukulele. Let me see that again. Shruti box. How about if we try double shruti box? All right, this will just take a second, you guys. While that's happening, you can enjoy this. And then I'm gonna get some things set up here. I've got an idea. right, I don't know how I'm going to incorporate this thing with the other things, but we'll try. And bongos, is that right? Wow. But that's what I like about the Gimme 5 stuff, is it makes me try things that I normally wouldn't combine. So that's good. All right, let's do it. Let's erase everything in the looper. I'm gonna switch my mics over. Here we go. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the suggestion, Richard. And you guys go check out Richard's music, too. Look him up on SoundCloud, I believe. You can leave a link. Thanks. Wonderful vibe. Wonderful vibes to all of you. Welcome that handpan lady also. And yeah, you guys, until next week. By the way, in 2 weeks, I will be out of town at a flute camp called Solstice Flute School in Prescott, Arizona. So no Tuesday Museday on that Tuesday, but I'll try to have something popping up on the channel if I can. Until then, thanks everybody. Thanks Roseanne for doing everything that you do and making this a better experience. Have a good week. Don't try to quiet your mind. See you guys later.
World Drum Club.